Yeah.
You want to like them, but you can't.
Are you listening?
What?
Are you listening?
Did you bring me on this show to insult me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all don't want it with us, man. We straight gangsters over here,
Straight
man.
gangster.
Ah.
Yeah. Good morning and welcome back. That is right. You are listening to Scout Team Radio. We bring it to you hot and live each and every morning, Monday through Friday, right here on 12 Ounce Sports Radio. I am one of your gracious hosts. They call me Loudbeard.
You are the most egotistical, self-deluded person I have ever met.
Whatever. And the man on the other microphone, he is a great American. He is the great patriot.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is your boy, Chris America, coming to you live this Monday, June the 24th, 2019. And Loudbeard, I'm going to start the show off with saying, I'm sorry, Montreal.
All right. Well, I'm glad you've finally come out and said it. Thank you.
The reason why I'm saying I'm sorry is because I said the St. Pete, Clearwater area is better than Montreal. And I could still be right, but I was over in that area this weekend, and I hated it. I hated every second of it. First of all, everything is 20 minutes from wherever you're at. Everything is 20 minutes from where you're at. That thing could be 4 to 5 miles away, and it's still going to take you 20 minutes to get there, Loudbeard. And then the 2 times that I stopped to get food, it was both of the times I was in a rush. The first time I stopped in to Publix to go get some Publix subs for our sailing trip, I thought, at worst, it's going to take like 10 minutes, right? Especially when you get up there, there's one person getting subs made, there's one other person in front of me, and then it's me and my family. And it took 30 minutes from the time I walked into the store to the time I walked out. And then the same thing happened to me at Wendy's. It took 30 minutes for me to get my food from the time I walked in to the time I actually got my food. And it was awful, Loudbeard. My anxiety can't take taking 30 minutes to travel 5 miles and 30 minutes to get my food. I wouldn't want to live there, ever.
So you're saying Montreal's better because of how much you hate that Tampa St. Pete area.
Now, if Montreal has the same traffic problem and the same slow service, then they're back on equal ground. And as a baseball player, you don't have to worry about those things, I guess, because you have drivers and you probably have food delivered to you, whatever. Or somebody goes into the store for you while you play on your phone and you're like, hey, there's a baseball player in the car. He's waiting for his food. And they say yes sir right away.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you finally admitted to it. So what do you think it's better to go all in than with Montreal with the Tampa Bay Rays instead of this half and half? Because even just half of the time over there.
I'll always be against the half and half. Now, here's the thing, though. Even though I had all those stresses, when I was out on the sailboat, though, it was peaceful. It was quiet. That's when I was like, okay, I could live here. I can do this. But then when I got back, okay, nope, can't do it. Out on the water, I can do it. Back on land, no dice. Because see, here in Orlando, especially in Seminole County, it's why I don't live in Orange County. So for those who aren't from Florida, Seminole County is the county north of Orlando. We are probably like 15 minutes away from Orlando on a good day, right?
Yeah, not too far.
You can get to downtown in like 15, 20 minutes. I went from the other side of downtown, Mall Millennia, to Lake Mary in 30 minutes. And that's like a good 11 to 15 miles. I got 11 to 15 miles in 30 minutes. Faster than what it took me to go 5 miles in St. Pete, Clearwater area. I was just done, Loudbeard.
I'm wondering what time you did that because that trek over there on I-4 is not typically that quick.
No, it's not that fast during the weekday, but it was just the same normal traffic that we had in Clearwater. It wasn't even that there was traffic. It's just the way that it's a grid system. There's a bunch of stoplights, and unless you're on one of their highways or freeways or whatever, it just takes you forever to get to the freeway. You get stopped at every light, and then you get on that freeway, and then it's like smooth sailing, and then you have to get off the freeway, Then you have to go through more stoplights to finally get to the Target or Publix or Walmart that you're trying to get to that was 5 miles away when you looked at your Google Maps.
Wow. You're very bitter over
I
the
am.
St. Pete
Again,
area.
Orange
The
County
traffic
is the same
situation.
way. Orange County is the same way too. Like if you're over by UCF and you're trying to get over to downtown Orlando and you don't want to pay the tolls, like it's gonna take you forever to get there.
Oh yeah. I've lived through both. I grew up over in the Tampa St. Pete area. Lived there for quite a few years until I graduated high school. Came over to the Orlando area to go to UCF, and yeah, I've lived through both, and neither are that good. I can say that the traffic in Orlando and the traffic in Tampa are both about the same, and I can't enjoy either of them. That's why it's better to just stay away from traffic if possible.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't. It comes at you.
That's why
no matter which way you want it.
while I live in Florida, I will forever live in Seminole County. I won't live anywhere else.
No, all right. Look at you. You're gonna
Come on,
be
you
here
enjoy it.
forever.
You enjoy it.
So if you left Florida,
Mhm.
where would you go? Like if you were like, okay, I just want to start over. I'm gonna throw a dart on the map. Where would you aim that dart to?
Well, this is why I'm a Carolina Panthers fan, because back in 2007, I've always wanted to live in North Carolina. I have family in Asheville. I love it there, but Asheville is a little too small of a town for me. Maybe it's blown up since I've been there in the last 10 or 15 years, but it's a little too small townsy for me. I like the suburb life where you have everything that you need at a whim, but you're also not the traffic that we talked about, and you have sports teams and you have a downtown area that you can watch sports and stuff like that. So Charlotte is in North Carolina. It's 2 hours from the beach, 2 hours from the mountains. Perfect. And Charlotte is a lot like the Orlando area where once you drive, 20, 30 minutes outside of town, it's just nice suburbs, easy to get in and out of. The traffic's not that bad. And you got everything you need, all the amenities you need. And so I would move to Charlotte, North Carolina, Loudbeard.
Wow. I thought you were gonna say Montreal.
No.
You
If I
seem
was
to
gonna move
love
Canada-
Montreal all of a sudden.
If I was going to move to Canada, it would be Toronto. Or
Yeah, Toronto's nice.
Regina, Canada.
Okay, stop
Where-
that. This is a family show.
Where my oh gosh, now I can't even think of their names. The Saskatchewan Roughriders play.
Oh, okay. Yep, there you go. Follow the team. I like it. I like where you're going with that. Yeah, Toronto is a beautiful city, man. Toronto is
Yeah.
a very beautiful city. I don't know if I could live there. I don't know enough about it. I haven't been there enough. I spent about a half a week there a few years back and really, really enjoyed it. But I like what you're saying with Charlotte, man. Charlotte's a great city. And just living right outside the town where you could go travel in and maybe get season tickets for the Panthers, your Carolina
Yep,
Panthers.
My Carolina Panthers.
That would be a beautiful sight. And then, like you said, 2 hours from the mountains, 2 hours from the beach. You could do all of it, all the amenities, all the greatness. Wow, look at you. You're already moving. I hear you packing your bags in the background.
I
What
am.
is that noise?
I just need little America to turn 18.
Yep,
And
almost
go
there.
do what he wants to do, where he's like, I'm going to go do my own thing, Dad.
There you go. Almost there. Now, Chris America,
Mhm.
what I'm going to, I guess, segue over at. We didn't talk too much about sports the last couple weeks, but, sometimes other things in the world happen. And you don't really need to talk about sports, but sometimes those other things in the world collide with sports. And
Okay.
this was a story that really caught my interest. It's the world of ghost adventuring
Okay.
and sports. And I needed to put these two together, okay?
All
This is where life begins right here, Chris America. And Zach Baggins, who is the star of the show.
Is he any relations to Bilbo Baggins?
He's half brothers with Frodo.
Okay.
So Zach Baggins,
Mm-hmm.
star of the hit TV show Ghost Adventurers,
Yes.
which I know you've been on.
Mhm.
I know you've seen. I know you're all
Yes.
about that life.
Right. I mean,
So
we had
he-
our own ghost adventure on our last 2 Halloween episodes.
Ooh, did you?
Well,
Hmm.
we did. We all did. The
I
scout
don't
team
even
did.
remember. I don't even
know.
remember.
I know it was a weird time for you. You got kidnapped, locked away in a haunted house. We had like a fake Loudbeard. We killed the fake Loudbeard. At least we think we killed the fake Loudbeard. Anyways, the Loudbeard we have is the Loudbeard we have, so continue on.
So the host of this show, Zach Baggins, he likes to collect weird, kind of morbid things for he's got his own museum of strange and odd things. And he just acquired the bed from the Bunny Ranch that Lamar Odom OD'd in. And apparently over at the Bunny Ranch, first Lamar Odom ODs in this bed, and then the owner of the Bunny Ranch happens to die in that same bed. This guy's name is Dennis Hoff. He dies in that bed. So it's the same bed that Hoff dies in is the same bed that Lamar Odom OD'd in. And so then there was this rumor going around the Bunny Ranch that bed, that mattress itself was haunted. And so Zach Baggins comes in and swoops in and says, "Don't worry, I'll take this haunted mattress off your bed." So he takes the whole bedroom suite from the same bedroom that Lamar Odom ODs in and the owner of the Bunny Ranch, Dennis Hoff, dies in, and he sets it up in his museum. And he's very excited and happy about this new piece to his collection, this whole bedroom suite of just glory for Zach Baggins. Now, do you think that is a weird thing to collect items that are haunted or people die on or whatnot? Is that weird?
I can solve this guy's mystery right away. Just really quick, go over there with like a paddle or some sort, and just like start hitting the mattress, and I guarantee you a cloud of smoke or a cloud of dust that will pop up in front of you. Now, don't inhale it, because you will get high, and you too can OD on this bed, because it'll be full of coke. And that's probably why this, the haunting isn't Ghost Loudbeard, the haunting is addiction, and it is a very scary thing.
That is scary. That is very scary. I thought you were going to say pull out the black light, and I was going to definitely say not a good idea this morning. Yeah, not a good idea. Well, I would say on this bed, we were going to pass that, and I don't think I would want to collect it. No, I don't want any piece of this. I don't want a haunted bed, and I don't want to know what has been done on that bed. No, thank you. I don't even know how you would transport such a thing, because I wouldn't even want to touch it. It would be disgusting in all ways.
And that's kind of like a weird, so like two people, one person doesn't even die, he ODs. So let's not even try to act like this was a ghost haunting thing. Again, it's just called addiction. It's what happens when you're addicted to coke and you're addicted to drugs. I don't really know what Lamar Odom OD'd on. It might not be coke. It could be opioids for all I know. Not that that's any better, but could have been bath salts. Who knows? Lamar Odom would make a perfect Florida man. I can tell you that much. Or he used to. I don't know if he's changed his life around. No judgment here, Lamar. I'm on your side. I'm Team Lamar. But that is just a normal thing that happens. And then the owner dying, like he's there all the time. I guess it's kind of just a weird coincidence that he died on the same bed that Lamar Odom OD'd on, but I don't know.
I think it means it's haunted.
I need more proof than that.
Oh, I'm sure there's other things that have been haunted on that bed. But we're not getting into that today. Now I'm gonna switch gears on you, not like Lonzo Ball or LeVar Ball.
You can switch
not switching gears that way. Whoa, inappropriate. Though over the weekend, I'm gonna change. I was gonna switch gears one way, but I'm gonna go in a different direction. Over the weekend, I saw a lot of people defending LeVar Ball. Apparently, he had made that same joke to other anchors on ESPN over the last couple years as he's been featured on many different stories and in many different shows. And he's made the exact same joke, and he's made it to different people, male, female, whoever. It was kind of like you can switch. Well, no, it wasn't male. Anyway, people are defending him, and I don't know why. I don't know why people are defending him, but he had used this joke before, but it was the reaction of the anchor that made it such a big story. And I think he's just a numbskull. I don't think he meant it like to be sexist or to be arrogant or to be kind of jerky. I think he's just an idiot. Is that fair to say?
He's just somebody that doesn't understand the new society and how it works, I guess. Like that you can't make those jokes anymore. And I know we're not going to sit here and debate whether you can or can't. The reality is you just can't anymore. Not in that forum, I should say. And so there's a lot of theories running around out there. You had your theory of, well, LeVar is now in New Orleans, and the shtick is up. No, everybody's tired of it. Nobody's going to care about him. Like, Lonzo Ball is going to get lost in the shuffle. And there's that theory. I saw probably the same tweets that you saw. And some people think that because the jokes before were made to women of, like, minority, that it was okay. But I guess this woman, now I haven't seen this one either, but this is just what I gathered from the tweet. So don't kill the messenger. I'm just telling you what I read, that because this woman was a white woman, that they couldn't stand for it. And there could be some of that. But I kind of side with you on both fronts, that he isn't that big of a deal anymore and the shtick is up. And the fact that the woman complained about it. In the other videos, the women just kind of like took it as the joke that it was and rolled it off and kind of laughed it off. And that was that. So I'm open to all of the possibilities being possibilities, but I feel like it's probably a little bit of everything maybe. But I think the complaining or the making a big deal out of it by the female and you saying, like, look, he's not a big deal anymore, so ESPN's like, we've squeezed all we can out of this LeVar Ball thing, so now we're going to make ourselves look good by saying we stand behind our women, like you said on Friday.
There we go. And, of course, before the joke, it didn't matter. But because of how that anchor reacted, you think if that joke was made several times before that they would have jumped on it and made it a big deal at that point, right? Like, why is it now all of a sudden a big deal? It's because of how she reacted. Because, I mean, this is on national television. We're not talking about some rinky-dink little operation. This is national television, thousands and thousands, maybe millions of viewers. I don't even know. And you would think if he's said it 3 or 4 or 5 other times that it would have gotten some sort of response before. But now, all of a sudden, it is a big deal, and it doesn't necessarily need to be. But at the same time, maybe they should have thought about not putting LeVar Ball on television so many freaking times just to get a quick, I guess, ratings jump because they thought this guy was a loose cannon. And guess what? When you get a loose cannon on there, he says stuff that is stupid, and sometimes you get this.
And you know what? I think they kind of helped LeVar Ball out, to be honest with you, because even though he'll be lost in the shuffle in New Orleans, now he can kind of be like, I'm the guy they threw off at ESPN. He can even come up with his own show, like what's LeVar Ball going to say next and whatever else, and people will tune in for that crap. I've never liked the shtick. I thought it was bad from the start, not because I don't like the guy. I mean, I don't like the guy. The main reason why I don't like him is while other people say that he's showing that he loves his son and he's there for his son, I see it more as he's taking the spotlight off of his son, and he's trying to vicariously live through his son and taking all the glory away from him, and I just don't feel comfortable about that. Like, you need to let your son be his own man. He's earned this spotlight and everything else, and yeah. So that's why I've never really liked him, because I feel like he's being very selfish, and maybe Lonzo's okay with it. But maybe Lonzo's okay with it because that's all he knows, is just to give his dad the spotlight and his dad to take the spotlight away from him.
Gotcha. So we have a hot tweet coming in, and Jenny of Ohio is wanting to know if we know this Jack Hughes guy. So a little backstory: Jack Hughes taken #1 overall by the New Jersey Devils in the NHL draft, which just happened. What was that, Friday night? I believe it happened. And Jack Hughes is a fellow Orlando native. Now, I don't want to be the someone pulling the curtain behind me, but I just wanted Jenny to know that we do know who Jack Hughes is, and the reason we know him is because he is the guy that was standing in front of Chris America in Publix, holding up the line for 30 minutes so that Chris couldn't get Publix subs. So Jack Hughes was that guy. So we know him from being the guy at Publix, getting the subs, holding up the line. I don't know anything about his hockeying. I heard it's good. I heard he's a good hockeyer. Getting a draft pick out of Orlando is surprising. I mean, we do have some good hockey facilities in the area, but we don't have any ponds that ice over so that you could just play some pond hockey in the winter. We don't have those sort of things. So it is kind of surprising. When you say we have good guy from the South.
Arenas in the area, you really just mean the RDV Sports Complex.
Yeah,
I don't know of any other hockey place.
Yes, there's that one.
Hockey is not big. It's over there by EA Sports. if you guys need a. Now, Loudbeard, it's funny because there's the NBA draft, and even though those guys are 18, 19, you still look at the people getting drafted and you're like, wow, those are young men. And you watch the NFL draft and you look at those guys and you're like, yeah, they're 21, 22, but they still look like men. Now, not older men, but just young, burly men. And then you look at Jack Hughes, the number 1 overall pick, and he looks like a 15-year-old boy. How does this happen, Loudbeard? Hockey's supposed to be the rough and tough, grind them out, lose some teeth, and look ugly type sport. When do they go from looking 15 to 45, where they look like they've been rode hard and hung up wet?
You're right, man. Some of them look young.
No, look
Look
at this.
real
Look
young.
up this Jack Hughes kid, man. He looks
No,
like
I
he's
see his
15.
picture. Yeah, he looks like he could be in that Mighty Ducks movie.
Like I'm sitting here, he does. I'm sitting here looking at his draft
he
picture
does.
where he's doing his press conference. He's got his hat on, and he looks like a player's kid instead of the number 1 overall pick.
Yep. And I have bad news for everybody. It looks like Hughes was born in Orlando, Florida, but he grew up in Canada. So
Oh,
yeah,
get out of here.
He's
That
not
doesn't
even
count.
using our facilities. He's in Canada.
No wonder why
Oh.
he became the number 1 overall pick. We can't have anything nice. We thought we were claiming a guy that lived here and fought against the odds of being a Floridian in a non-hockey town at all whatsoever. Like we said, we have the RDV Sports Complex, and I'm guessing they have Little League hockey there, but it's not like soccer. It's not like, basketball. There are no hockey teams in high school, like no high school hockey teams at all. We have rowing teams, tons of rowing teams here in the Central Florida area that are very nationally, known, but no hockey.
Yeah, there isn't. I was actually really surprised when I saw that Hughes was from Orlando, but I get it. He was probably born here and then was here till he was a young age. We'll say 2 or 5 or 7, whatever, maybe 3. And then he gets shipped up to Canada where they got real hockey training. They throw you out in the snow
Yes.
and they say, all right, get used to the cold. And then they throw you in a frozen pond and they say, if you sink, you're not a hockey player. If you can skate on the thin ice, you're a real man. And Jack Hughes, he's a real man. Even though he's got a little Orlando in him, he's mostly Ontario.
Yeah, he's mostly Ontario. Loudbeard, I'm going to switch gears here on you.
Oh,
Earlier,
you can
you
switch
brought
my
up-
gears any day.
Yeah. You brought up real life meets the sports world, right? Earlier in the show.
Mm-hmm.
I got another real life story meets the sports world, Loudbeard. I have a question. Is there any player, basketball, football, baseball, whoever, that you don't like enough to never give up your seat on an airplane? You're in first class, and you're going to move to another first class seat, but your seat has a ton of leg room. Is there any player who comes up to you and asks, can I have the seat, that you would say no to?
The only guy I would say no to would be Cam Newton.
Oh, God, don't steal my thunder.
Or anybody that plays on the Cowboys.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to
Jerry
give
Jones.
you a real life
What
example
about
here.
Jerry Jones?
I would sell it to him for a pretty
Okay.
penny. I would say, all right, how many millions of dollars in coin do you have on you right now?
Not Bitcoin, real coin.
Real coin. I want real coin.
Actually, I want it in
gold
I want it in
coins.
gold bars, please. Loudbeard,
But I want it now.
would $10,000 be enough to make you move?
Yeah, 10,000 would be plenty.
Yes, that's what Cam Newton offered this guy, and this guy said no. And I have to think that this guy has probably loaded himself to where $10,000 is not enough for him to get up. Because if Cam offered me $1,000, I'd be like, where do I got to go to? I'm not even supposed to be in first class. Like I just got a free upgrade because I had points on my card. Like that's the only reason why I'm here. So here you go. But $10,000, hell yeah.
Yeah, I would have taken
Or
it
would
in a
you
heartbeat.
just-
There
would
would
you
not have
take
been
first
any
offer,
thought
or
on
would
it.
Would you take first offer, or would you kind of try to like haggle? So if Cam throws out $10,000, would you be like, what about 13?
For
Or
the
would you just
radio,
say
I'm
10
going to
grand
sit here
sold?
and say, oh, yeah, I would haggle. I'd push him up to about 25,000 right there, 25K. I'd push
Yeah.
him up. In real life, I'd be like, Oh, 10,000. Sweet. Thank you. I'll go sit.
Thank you.
On the floor. Yeah, I'll sit on the floor.
Yes.
That's all I need.
And then I would take
Yeah.
everybody's cameras because I do not need the IRS knowing that I just got flushed with $10,000 in cash because I am not planning on claiming this on my taxes at the end of the year. Especially if it pushes me into the next tax bracket.
Yeah, you just tell them all to put it in the bucket when they walk into the airplane, like going to Derek Jeter's house for a party.
So that guy had to have a lot of cash, or either that or he just really, really wanted that leg space that Cam Newton wanted. And how funnier would it be if the guy was like 5'6", to where he didn't even need the leg room, and Cam's what, like 6'5"?
Yeah. He's probably a normal height guy, you know? Like, there's probably nothing special. He just probably didn't want to move. You're right. Has the money. He didn't really need the extra leg room, but everybody likes a little extra leg room. Airplanes can be super cramped. So, I don't blame the guy. If you don't need the money, if the money's not the issue, then you don't take it. But that is kind of a weird story. That's a weird circumstance to happen. I wonder how often does it happen where these athletes just like say, okay, here, I'm going to give you 10 grand. Here's the money. You take it. And everybody's like, oh, yeah, I'll take it. And they move, and it's a non-story. But this one guy, he finally stands up for himself in his leg room, and we finally have the story that we deserve. Somebody putting Cam Newton in his place and telling him, you can't have leg room on this plane, Cam Newton. You don't deserve it. You should have won the championship, the Super Bowl. You should have won it, but you didn't.
Now, I was going to say that if Cam caused you to lose a bet, you wouldn't take the money because you'd be mad at him. But then you lost a bet, so then you'd probably take the money just so he can pay you back for what he lost you.
Okay. Yeah, that would be good. You got to cover your losses. Sometimes you got to cover your losses, Chris America.
Definitely. I'm never going to be in that situation, by the way. That's never going to happen to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Now,
That kind of
Chris
stuff
America,
only happens. That kind of stuff only happens to rich people who already have money who could say no to $10,000.
Yeah, so you don't think you'll ever be in that position where you just can say no to $10,000?
I mean, once this show makes it big, yeah, I can be in that position, but then I won't need the $10,000.
Either that or the lottery. Keep playing that lottery, man.
Yeah, man.
You can't win if you don't play.
The Florida Redneck Retirement System.
That's right. That's all it takes. Well, we just have a couple minutes left before the commercial break. You switch gears out of hockey, but I've got some hockey talk for you, Chris America. And
you want to talk that
typically
hockey
talk. I want to talk that hockey. I do. So a couple big trades happened over with this NHL draft. The big news, obviously, being Jack Hughes getting taken #1 overall by the New Jersey Devils. But we had some big trades. Big trades. Some guys you may even recognize their name. First of all, PK Subban. PK. You know him. He's from the Nashville Predators.
Yeah.
He's gone. He's no longer in Nashville. He's joining Jack Hughes, and he is going to be on the New Jersey Devils now. He's gone. So Nashville benefits from this because they get a little bit of cap space. They owe him $9 million over the next 3 years. So he was just getting to be a little bit too rich for the blood over there in Nashville. And Nashville's got some other stars that they're going to need to re-sign and a couple things going on that needs to be kind of addressed. So they needed to free up some cap space and get PK out of Nashville. But to me, he will always be a Predator.
Loudbeard, I have a question for you, or maybe I have a question for Jenny of Ohio, because I don't feel like you know Ohio or hockey enough to answer this question, but what you just described to me sounds like what the Cleveland Browns did last year and this year. They get the #1 overall pick, they get the hot kid out of college, and then now they're trading over for one of the best hockey players out there that's a little known for being a little bit of having like a little bit of sass, I guess, a little bit. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't watch enough hockey, but I know that some people don't like PK Subban for whatever reason. So, again, this is a question for maybe Jenny of Ohio or any other fans out there that actually watch and pay attention to hockey. Are the New Jersey Devils making moves like the Cleveland Browns did?
I doubt
you
it.
get your #1 overall draft, and then you go and you trade for a solid player that is going to contribute right away, and boom, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. PK traded for an incomplete deck of cards and an ice cream cone. All right. So looks like New Jersey Devils got away with it. It's the old salary dump, like you said.
They did it.
And that's kind of what
Pulled the wool over his eyes.
isn't that what the Giants got for what's his name?
Odell?
Odell? Yeah.
Is that what you're
Didn't they
getting? I was in the
Did they get
Giants.
an incomplete deck of cards and an ice cream cone to isn't that what the Browns sent them? See, this is adding up, man. I can talk that hockey. Browns and New Jersey Devils are making the same moves.
The Tampa Bay Lightning did the same move too.
Did they? Who did they trade?
Yeah,
Or will we
JT
find
Miller.
out on the other side of the break?
No, I just said it.
Oh, you did? I was talking over you. I'm sorry.
That's okay. JT Miller. He got traded from the Lightning to the Canucks. Again, another one of these, hey, this guy he's paid too much money. We need to clear up some cap space to sign some of our other guys or make sure that our current roster is good. And sometimes these guys are good, but they get to be expendable. And unfortunately, that is all the hockey talk I have for you today, Chris America. Can you talk
Well,
any
when
more
you
hockey?
got Kucherov and you got Stamkos, and damn it, the goalie's name is escaping me now. I want to say Ben Bishop. but I know that's not it.
Vasilevsky. There you go. Talk
Vasilevsky.
that. Yeah, talk that hockey.
When you got a big three like that, you gotta get rid of some of the complementary pieces. But that big three's got to show up next season, man. You can't get swept out by the number 8 seed again. Like they have to make it. I feel like next year is boom or bust for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Okay. Well, on the flip side, Chris America, after we have a quick commercial break, I'm going to tell you who got called out this weekend and who got told that they will get knocked the blank out. Hey, Kawhi, what are you laughing at, man? This isn't funny. Fantasy sports reimagined. FanDuel, that's what I'm talking about. It is more than just fantasy sports. It's the best way to watch the games, win real cash, and bring the action right to your living room. Just choose a contest, make your picks, watch, and win. And if you go to FanDuel.com/STR today, you can get a $5 deposit bonus. Once again, that's FanDuel.com/STR. Come on, man. This is not a laughing matter. If you've been listening to Scout Team Radio for a long time, you know that myself, Loudbeard, has placed a bet or two in his day. That's right, I've lost the beard bet, I lost the romper bet, but one place I don't like losing is when I bet money, and I can easily do that at MyBookie. That's right, you can go to mybookie.ag, use promo code 12OZSports, and get a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Hey, guess what? That is a lot of money. Do it.
When I'm working hard, I build up a thirst for sports. That's when I grab a cold 12-ounce sports radio. "12-ounce sports radio. Quench your sports thirst." Hey everybody, it's your favorite Patriot, Chris America, and I want you to listen every single weekday, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and on replays from 11 a.m. to noon of Scout Team Sports. Listen, George Washington did not cross over the ocean blue in 1492 to defeat the Nazis, so you can listen to the same tired national clickbait sports stories. So once again, tune in to us every single morning, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and then we replay from 11 to noon. I will see you there, and God bless America.
Good morning, and thank you all again for listening in. Once again, we are Scout Team Radio. We bring it to you hot and live each and every morning, Monday through Friday, right here on 12 Ounce Sports Radio. We also simulcast on the Full Press Radio Network. We're excited about that partnership. And you can always catch us on the Barn Burner Podcast Network. We really are excited about being a part of the Barn Burner Network because they're up there in Canada, and we're really spreading our wings. And we're not only here in America, we're in Canada, we're all over the place. If you can't catch the live show, you can always check it out on our podcast. You can go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, anywhere you find a podcast, search us up, Scout Team Radio. You can also check us out on our website, scoutteamradio.com. If you want to get social, if you want to get interactive with us, hit us up on Twitter at Scout Team Radio. That's the best way to do it. We'll read your tweets on the air. We will discuss your topics. This morning we had some hot tweets coming in from Jenny of Ohio. Thank you, Jenny. We appreciate your interaction this morning. It's really welcome because you bring a different perspective. You like to talk that hockey, and sometimes we don't necessarily naturally talk that hockey. But this morning, Jack Hughes, a fellow Orlando native, is going to be talked about, and we talked about him on that first half of the show. So if you missed it, go back and catch it on the podcast.
Plus, unless Max Scout Team's here, we really don't get a female perspective all that often.
That's a good point. There we go. I like it. Well, Chris America, to me this weekend, one of the biggest stories coming out of sports is there's a little conflict going on with the New York Mets. Now, the New York Mets are sitting under 500. They're about 9 games back of the Atlanta Braves in their division. They're really struggling this year, and they had very high expectations going into this season, but it's just not coming together the way that they thought it would come together. Their slugger, Cespedes, he's out for the season with a season-ending injury, and it's just everything's going bad. So there is a press conference, and after this press conference or during this press conference, things get a little heated because right now the manager for the Mets, Mickey Callaway, he's on the hot seat, right? So when you're on the hot seat, sometimes little things that get said just start getting under your skin. And apparently a member of the media, which you and we are members of the media, we take offense to this, but a member of the media, he made a comment over to Mickey Callaway. It may have been a little backwards, a little sideways, and Mickey Callaway takes offense to it. So he points over to his public relations guy and he says, get this, and I'm abbreviating this for family's sakes out there, for all the small children that are listening. He says, get this MFer out of here. And then Jason Vargas of the New York Mets also gets involved, and he looks over to the fine young gentleman of the media and he says, I'll knock you the F out, bro. And he starts charging at him. Now, are we getting into a crazy world where we are now having the athletes fight with the media? Have we gone too far as a media where we are getting too much in these guys' business? Or is this just another area where baseball players are being too sensitive?
Probably a little bit of both. I'm trying to think if we've had this before, like 1995. Like, I always believe that there's nothing new under the sun. So sometimes we overreact, but yeah, I think maybe there's a little bit too much tension. And like you said, baseball players are the most sensitive athletes on planet Earth. So are baseball fans. So I'm going to go with that more than anything, Loudbeard. I think, granted now, the media guy has to be a little bit more professional. And he also, I don't want to say this because I don't believe that anybody's better than anybody. I feel like everybody's, equal playing ground no matter what your status is in life. But the rest of the world doesn't think like Chris America. And you kind of got to know your place when you're in that situation because you may lose your credentials, which means you may lose your job. Your job depends on you being in that locker room and getting these interviews. So you can't be sitting there cursing out HR reps and everything else. I get it. Maybe you're a little mad, but man, you probably have a family you got to think about, and you got to bite that tongue really hard because that baseball player is probably not going anywhere, and if he does, he's going to go to another team, and he's still going to make his salary, where you could be sent to the job line where you have a whole bunch of other people that are competing for jobs just like you are, so you better be appreciative of the job you have. I don't think that's a good move on the media guy's part.
Yeah, but now he's in the headlines, right? So this guy
I mean, he is.
he's created headlines.
I guess, but I don't think many news organizations want their reporters creating the headlines. I think they want them to go get the headlines.
And
I
this
think that's
this
like
gentleman
one rule
was
of journalism is like you don't become part of the story.
now he's not from TMZ, but if he was, that's
Then
kind of
that
what
would
they
just be
do.
par for the course. Yeah, if you're TMZ or you're Barstool Sports, that's just par for the course. But pretty much, there's not many other sports media outlets that want their media reporters doing that. They just don't. They want access to those locker rooms, and if you lose them access to those locker rooms, then you suffer. That's what their bread and butter is getting into those locker rooms and getting those interviews so they can write stories on it and everything else. And I guarantee you, whatever organization it is going to tell the team, we're sorry, we got rid of that guy. Please don't keep us out of your locker room. And the team will say, fine, you got rid of the guy, that's cool. Just don't send another guy in here like that, or you'll be gone for good.
All right. So now the report that I see here says the comment that was made that really started this incident was from the reporter. He said, "See you tomorrow, Mickey." Mickey being the Mets manager,
Yeah.
Mickey Callaway. He said, "See you tomorrow, Mickey." Now, I don't know any of the context of this. There must
there's
be
gotta
something
a
to it.
ton of history and backstory for "See you tomorrow, Mickey." You got to wonder what was the tone, if there was like heavy sarcasm in there. I mean, there's a backstory here that we don't know about. You don't just go off on a guy for saying "See you tomorrow, Mickey."
Yeah, and unless it was kind of like you said with that sarcastic tone, like you're not going to be here tomorrow, you're going to lose your job type deal.
Oh yeah,
maybe
then if
that's
the
where
case,
it went.
Then, yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then yeah, I'm gonna lose it on that guy, dude. Like, don't. I'm sitting here going through a hard time, and you're gonna make sarcastic jokes. Like that's not cool. And so again, like, I don't know. The manager's gonna win, and if if the manager loses his job, he's got a contract that, pays off the rest of his contract. He's set for life. You don't really have that unless you're like a Stephen A. Smith or a Skip Bayless. Like those guys have big time contracts. Dude getting interviews inside the locker room, not so much.
It's true. It's true. Maybe this is his big break though. Sometimes media loves that. Maybe he's going to get a big contract offer with TMZ. Who
Now,
knows?
Are you ready for a good segue, Loudbeard?
Yeah, I love segways. I
You
ride
would
them around
say-
the mall sometimes.
Yeah, you would say there was a lot of tension in that locker room, right?
Sure. Lots of tension.
And no workout creates so much tension on your body like a good old-fashioned plank. Do you ever do planks, Loudbeard, when you work out?
Yeah, I put them on the grill. Gives the extra cedar flavor
not
for
planks.
my
Not planks, planks.
what?
Have you ever done a plank, Loudbeard?
Oh yeah.
I don't know
I've
your
done a plank.
exercise routine. I know you run some from time to time. I don't know if you ever like work out like weightlifting or doing ab work.
No, I don't. None of
Okay.
that. Yeah.
So have you done a plank before?
Yeah, I've done a plank before.
About how long can you go?
Not very long. I don't have the time with me, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty
so
short.
I've been doing, the gym workout. I can get up to maybe, if I really wanted to, 2 minutes. But right now, I kind of hang around the minute mark. Sometimes I'll get overzealous and do a minute 30, and then I'm done. What do you think? A female broke the female world record. She's from Montreal, by the way. What do you think?
a great place.
What do you think her time was to break the world record?
To break the world record,
For females. I didn't even see if it said females. It didn't even give the male time. So it specified female world record. It could be the overall world record, but just the story I saw, it just said female world record.
this sounds kind of crazy, but I feel like it's got to be a pretty high number. I'm going to go 42 minutes.
Oh, you're close. There is a 4 in the number, but it's not 42 minutes. And there's actually a 2 in the number. Loudbeard, if you take the 4, and then what is that called, those 2 dots? It's not a semicolon. Is it just a colon? Those two
Sure.
dots that are in a time. Anyways, you put the 4 there, and then you put the 2 dots, and then you put the 2 next to the 2 dots, and then a 0. You get 4 hours and 20 minutes, and that's how long she did a plank for.
Wow, that's impressive.
And the previous
That's higher,
record was
much higher
3
than I
hours,
thought.
3 hours and 30 minutes was the previous record. Loudbeard, even if I had the strength to last 4 hours and 20 minutes, I do not have the mental capacity to go 4 hours and 20 minutes. I'd probably get bored after 5 and be like, okay, I'm done.
And you're done.
Yeah.
That's it.
I
You're done.
just don't have, my ADHD would take over. I'd get bored. I'd be like, why am I here? Like, at least when you're running for like a half marathon and it's an hour or 2 hours long, you got stuff to look at, you got people to talk to, but you're just staying in one spot, just kind of chilling. I mean, maybe put, what movie would you watch? I guess you could watch The Green Mile. You could start watching, maybe you could watch The Avengers.
Forget that. I'd watch the extended cut of Lord of the Rings. That's 4 hours.
There you go. That's 4 hours and 20 minutes.
Then you get
So
one
I guess-
whole movie
I guess if
in.
you gave me that, I guess if you gave me a TV with Lord of the Rings extended version, yeah, I guess I could do it then.
Or you could watch, 12 episodes of The Office, 20 minutes each,
Yeah.
without commercials.
Look
Just
at
binge
you.
through
Look
them.
at you with math.
Yeah, there we go. Happy math day. It's probably wrong math, but I'm just putting it out there.
So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think I could not break the women's world record for planking. One,
I
I'm
don't
not a
even think-
woman. Two,
I don't think I could.
I
ever
don't
do
think I
4
could even
minutes
get
and
close
20
on the time.
I don't even think I could do 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
Outstanding.
I bet you if Max Scout Team was on here, he'd be like, I could beat that. That's no big deal.
Man, we need to get him on the show first before we bring that
Well,
up.
we're waiting one Monday. He said he'd be on Mondays once a week, and we
What's
haven't.
today?
Today's Monday.
Mac, are you there? Anthony Mac, are you on? Nope, nothing. Okay. Sometimes I like to summon him too. So
Hit us up on the Twitter line, guys. Oh,
he's been summoned.
there you go. Yeah. Hit us up on the Twitter line. How long can you do a plank for? Even if you're listening on the podcast, we want to know how long is your longest plank. I'm going to go to the gym today, Loudbear, and I'm going to find out for myself today. I'm going to do it.
There you go. Outstanding, Chris America.
Out frickin' standing. That's what my company commander used to say all the time.
Good. I'm glad.
Out frickin'
Good.
standing, America. She didn't say
There we
she said
go.
my real last name, but
Yeah, America. So you're talking about women setting phenomenal feats, and you're talking about America. I'm going to segue that into the World Cup. Not
how
so
are the
much
ladies
about
doing?
the action. Ladies are doing pretty good. They got a match today at 11 o'clock. They're playing Spain. We're in the quarterfinals at this point, so it's the round of 16. They are
Ooh, the Sweet 16, huh?
Yeah, Sweet 16. Now, we had a couple matches yesterday. France gets a big win in extra time over Brazil, and then England gets a win over Cameroon. But there's always got to be a controversy, Chris America, and that's what I want to bring up this morning, is the controversy. So the World Cup is introduced as, they call it the VAR. It's a video assistant referees. So anytime there's a play that's got a little controversy where it looks like it's close or whatnot, what they'll do is the ref on the field goes back to a studio that has referees in it, kind of like the NFL does with their replay, and that ref from the studio will help make a decision on a play. And there was 2 really bad video assistant referee calls over the weekend that caused a lot of fuss. England gets a 3-0 win over Cameroon, so it wasn't even close, but Cameroon had a big goal that looked 100% clean, that got called offsides or something weird got called with it, and the players on Cameroon absolutely lost their minds. They couldn't even get the match started back up because the players were just losing it, absolutely losing it. And I kind of don't blame them. When a bad call is made, that's one thing when it's in the heat of the moment. But then when a bad call is made, when you have instant replay and you go back to a studio and they watch it, yeah, I kind of I'm okay with them. Now, all of the analysts were saying oh, this was unprofessional, and these are professional soccer women. They're setting examples for small children who are playing all over the world. They shouldn't be losing their minds like this. But I'd be pissed off too, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and honestly, I'm kind of tired of that excuse. You've watched sports with your kids before, right?
Yes.
Have your kids ever seen a player acting wrong and then been like, "That's really cool. I'm going to act like that now"?
No, I would
just,
say not.
I don't think that happens. Like, why do we still talk about this like athletes are raising our kids? Raise your own damn kids. Yeah, and then you're in the World Cup. Something that only happens 4 years. A lot of these people will only get one chance, maybe two at this thing, and you're robbing them. Yeah, let them go. Let them have their moment of frustration.
Yeah, and Cameroon's a smaller country that's not really in the thick of things typically. You know, it's usually your England, France, USA. Those are your big-time programs. Cameroon, man, they had their shot. Again, they lost 3-0, but that was a tough one to go against them. And then the game preceding that was France and Brazil, and the same thing happens. There was a goal that was called back that was super controversial. The announcers were like, yeah, this is definitely a good goal. There's nothing we see here. They show the replay about 10 times. You know, the ref takes about 5 minutes to make this decision, and then they called the goal off. So we had 2 goals called off in 2 separate games, and a lot of heat coming under this video assistant referee system that they've set up for the World Cup, because they've never had this before. It used to always be the call made on the field was the call made, and you just live with it. But now when you have a referee coming back and doing this, it's like the instant replay debate that you see in the NBA and NFL and all these other sports. When they call and make it the wrong call, it's unbelievable when they can see exactly what we see. So I don't know. Are we getting too involved with video replay? Should we just let these sports play and let these referees do their thing, or officials of some sort let them do their thing? What do you think? Is it too much?
I mean, was it the right call to
No,
overturn it? Did the video assistant referee get it right? They got it wrong?
They got it wrong on both plays. There was 2 controversial ones. One in the Cameroon game and then one in the Brazil-France game, and both times it appeared that they got it wrong.
So it's not a matter of opinion? It's a matter of fact that they got it wrong.
It is always a matter of opinion.
Always
a matter of
I've seen replays where like everybody is like, no, it was this way. And then the referee comes out and we're like, nope, it's this way. And you're like, how the hell did that happen? So if it's like where, I don't know, 85% of the people agree that the VAR got it wrong, now I'm sitting there thinking, okay, soccer's dirty. What's going on? Who paid who to have this goal overturned? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, and I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole, but I think with the Cameroon one, they felt like it could have been a little racially motivated also. I think that was some of the theory swirling in the background.
Yeah.
So that's tough. This has become kind of soccer's dirty anyway, right? Like, we're not going to say
Definitely.
FIFA's like the cleanest organization out there. So it's hard to put this past them. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. 2 minutes left, Loudbeer. What do you got?
All right, couple things. UConn. It looks like they're returning to the Big East in basketball, but we don't know what the football life is going to mean. They're in the American Athletic Conference now. So definitely some changes going on with UConn.
Yeah. I think it's time to start streamlining college sports. Figure it out, man. I don't know. At least if UConn can do this, then UCF should be able to at least join the Big 12 or the ACC or somewhere in football. Make it happen. Like, let's get rid of all of these teams that are in these conferences because their basketball team's good, so they're in the SEC. No, like, let's mix and match. Okay, it's gone on long enough. You got Notre Dame playing in what are they playing? They play in the ACC in all sports, but football. You got Wichita State playing in the American and basketball, but nothing else. Let's start streamlining each of these sports to have their own conferences to where it makes sense, instead of just, hey, the SEC is going to have Vanderbilt and Kentucky, and even though they suck in football, they're still good to stay in the SEC in football because their basketball teams are good.
Yeah, I'm with you, Chris America. Another story, Daniel Cormier comes out and said he's extremely disappointed that he's not going to be able to fight Brock Lesnar because Brock is not fighting anymore.
Nobody cares, DC. Go fight Stipe.
There you go. There you go. Albert Pujols gets a standing ovation in St. Louis, and he gives the crowd a show with a little home run. It was a great moment in baseball
Nice.
over the weekend.
Thank you for giving me the standing ovation. Now I'm going to put points on the board against your team.
There you go. And lastly, Kyrie Irving comes out, and a report says that he just doesn't like living in Boston.
Hey, it's not for everybody.
Great show, my friend.
I lived there before. I need to go check it out again. It wasn't a good time for me to live in Boston, but yeah, maybe it's not a good time for Kyrie to live in Boston. Who knows? But I think he's gone. But we didn't bring this up. Kawhi leaning heavily towards the Raptors loud beard. We'll talk about that tomorrow.